What's something that people should stop normalizing? We just need 2 days for our wedding tomorrow and relax day Monday, and my fiancé is having a meltdown trying to get things prepared for not being there. It breaks my heart. He works 6 days a week, and if he takes a day off he is dealing with a week worth of mistakes the other workers have made or fixing things they slacked off on. He gets 4 phone calls and loads of text messages every time he tries to relax. The worst part, he is the manager of a fucking shoe store. Like it's not life or death, leave the guy alone, it's fucking shoes. Do people cover your work in other countries when you're gone? You're correct that here in the US I've never covered anyone's work or had them cover mine when I was out. But I've worked at smaller places and there were generally 1 or 2 people per role, meaning that another person wouldn't have the skills to complete my work, necessary programs, or anything like that. Overworking really has become a badge of honor. Probably because sometimes it's rewarded. I've seen people get praise for working late from their leaders. Things like, "Hey, I see the people who stay late when someone leaves hours after close." What if their time management just sucks? What if they're just catching up as a personal preference and it's not hard nor necessary? And heaven forbid, what if the person leaving on time wants to be with family or live life beyond work? I've seen people still wear it like a badge of honor even when it's not encouraged. Those people drive me a bit nuts tbh, and I've made a point of telling one that it's neither healthy nor a good way to get noticed. I'm going the networking route instead to get recognition within the company, which is genuinely paying off. The reward for doing more work is more work, not a pay rise. I wish people would understand this. They probably don't want to admit failure. It's also a shitty situation, but some people feel comfortable in a marriage even if it sucks. It's a scary thought to divorce and go your own way. Also, a lot of people can't even really afford divorce. I agree it sucks to be stuck in a marriage you don't like, but there are a lot of reasons why that may be the case for people. It takes time to accept the defeat and failure and move on. My husband is my favorite person. We both have quality time as our love language, so we legitimately enjoy spending lots of time together. I don't understand couples who are constantly trying to cut their partner down. Whenever we get snippy with each other, it's generally because one or both of us needs food. But, no derogatory language is ever exchanged. I have a friend who seems to always end up in toxic relationships. I got into a serious relationship with my lovely girlfriend a little over a year ago. A few months ago he asked me if I had a fight with her yet. Seems like a normal thing to ask among close friends, but he asked me in a way that implied that it was expected that we should have had a fight by then. I guess it explains why he often have fights with his GF. He considers it a norm's low part of a relationship. So far I haven't had any fights with my GF. We disagree about things sometimes, but then we compromise or find alternatives instead of fighting about it. This is frequently a subject of complaint for my wife and I. I'm 28 and she's 27. We have been together for 10 extremely wonderful years, or we will be in November, and we've been married for over 6 of them. As unusual as it can be for people to meet so young and it work out, meeting her and getting married to her is the best thing that has ever happened to me, and I find it comforting and exciting that we still have so much time to spend together. Although I know it's likely partially because we are still quite young, we are often mistaken for newlyweds because we are so infatuated with each other. I'm one lucky man. We've both had experiences in which our co-workers have found it unusual that we're rushing home to see each other or that we're enthusiastic about spending all of our time off with each other. And, At the risk of undermining the efforts of students reading this, there is no evidence that regular homework is of any benefit. I talked to an acquaintance who is an educational researcher and she said there's squat evidence. The only time it helps is if there is a remedial necessity. And then only for limited periods. She said if you say we're deficient in the maths work being presented, then the best outcome was reached with a program of about a month. To upskill to the level being taught, get that section ensuring the fundamentals up to that point were met. Then carry on. Rinse and repeat if further issues arose. Not incessant hours every night. Homework should be of a remedial reactive nature. Fight me. It depends on what you are doing. At the high school level, if you are teaching a literature course, how can you get through novels without out-of-class readings? And while kids can write a timed rough draft in class, revisions never seem to work right. You need reflective time in your own space. For advanced classes that cover twice as much as a regular high school course, it's pretty much impossible to complete the curriculum in just the hours given. Adults kept telling me how work will be more stressful than school, so I should enjoy. Well, that was a lie. It feels so chill to just work your 8h and then be free for the rest of your day instead of studying almost 8h in school only to come home and stress about your homework. OFC, this also depends on your job, but that's in most cases up to you to choose whether you want a job that follows you home. It's also just such a shitty thing to tell stressed out of their minds young people that this is the best time of your life, so enjoy it while you can. How is anyone supposed to stay optimistic that way? Now, on top of worrying about all the shit they're already stressed about, they're also going to ask themselves whether they're failing at having fun. After all, it's really important that they get this right, because everything's just going to go downhill from here. And even if you had a good time as a teenager, it's still depressing to hear that you'll never be this happy again. Saying that doesn't help anyone, it just ruins what would have otherwise been a good time. It's like how you can never enjoy Sundays because you just know Monday is right around the corner. I feel like I got lucky with this because my schools, England, 90s to early 2000s, never really gave us that much homework. What's strange is that they always acted like the years ahead were going to be filled with more of it and that we were going to have to deal with organizing countless essays/projects/questions, but those evenings of endless work never actually showed up. Looking back, I think all of my teachers thought their colleagues were piling it on, so each one went easy with the homework they gave out. Or maybe they just couldn't face marking all of it. Cheating. So many love stories on Netflix, or just any sort of romance movie release these days, have cheating involved in them so much. It's always branded as this romantic thing to do. Oh, like at this dark and brooding handsome guy with no personality. Time to fuck him and forget about my 2-year relationship, or some shit like that. It's not romantic, it's just wrong, and it should not be normalized. To be honest, when someone texts me back right away, it makes me happy and, if anything, makes me think better of that person. I have a lot of friends that usually take a long time to respond to texts, and it's frustrating because it's very difficult to have a conversation over message with them. I'm not saying that they do it on purpose, I'm saying that it's very satisfying and relieving when someone texts back quickly. Oh God. This is so awful for so many reasons. We had a long and miserable road to parenthood, and for years I had to make sure I had a drink in my hand, regardless of if I actually felt like drinking or not, at every social gathering, lest someone start pestering me about being pregnant and send me into tears. There could be no other explanation. Dry January? Nope, must be knocked up. Don't feel like it? Nope, you're hiding a pregnancy. Trying to be healthier? Just have a small glass. You won't? Must be pregnant. It's the classic duo of things that are none of your business. Why I'm not drinking and how knocked up I am or am not. That's so true. I have Asperger's and I went to a community college for trade school to study diesel power technology, get my AAS degree, and then become a diesel mechanic. But I've struggled with understanding the science behind hydraulics and I couldn't understand how to troubleshoot those systems. I got help from my instructors and classmates but that still didn't work out. My instructor suggested that I should transfer to welding instead and I did because I realized that I've liked it more than working on diesel engines. I've ended up graduating with a 1-year diploma in welding technology in 2019. I haven't founded a welding job or anything related to it yet but I'm still hoping that I will. I did receive my first welding job offer this year but had to turn it down because of the low pay. Hopefully though I'll be able to find something. Bless you for this, I wasn't expecting to see it at the top of this thread but I'm glad it's here. I'm getting really tired of this attitude in reading spaces. It's especially irritating when they condemn the readers along with the writers, though I definitely don't think authors deserve condemnation for exploring different themes in their books. Like with the Black Witch incident, the way people were accusing others of racism for merely reading the book in order to contextualize it themselves was absolutely insane. And review bombing books before they even release for rumors about perceived moral wrongs. What kind of video games create violence bullshit is this? Why are young progressives copying their conservative parents' behavior? I have a cousin who worked in Hollywood and started having some moderate success in the film industry. She said powerful men were shameless about the expectation of women having to tolerate sexual harassment and in some cases even trade sex for favors. She ended up leaving the film industry after she got to the highest point she could in her career with having to sleep her way to the top. It's insanely disturbing how commonplace that is in the entertainment world. I'm in a long-distance relationship. And the amount of people, random people, that have said to me you can just find someone here, fuck around, and ditch the guy, why does it matter? It's not like he isn't cheating on you already or cheating is fine now, not like he can find out anyways haha, have some fun. Or the sole fact that BF's own parents try to get him to cheat on me or ditch me for someone else, freaking no one takes in account that hey, maybe we care for each other and are happy together. Using mental illness as an excuse. I suffer from several, and it's very hard on me. But, I get professional help and deal with it head on. Reading constant posts every day about people having this disorder and that's why it's okay to act a certain way is demotivating. Awareness is important, but dozens of posts every day about having borderline personality disorder or bipolar disorder and why it's acceptable for you to be an asshole is not awareness. If you suffer from these so badly, please get help. Agree. Sometimes if a person ignores every boundary you reasonably try to set then ghosting is appropriate. But to just do it because you can't be a decent human is wrong. Edit, when I say boundaries, in this example I don't mean telling someone to leave you alone or that you are done, I mean when they aren't respecting your boundaries in general. For example, when you tell someone you don't want to hear gossip, or not to come over unless invited, or to stop making mean jokes and they continue to do so. I recently watched an episode of Explained on plastic surgery, and there was one interviewer who stated she debated even coming in because she had a young daughter and she doesn't want to implant that seed of doubt in her self-confidence when she starts asking why she's not built like mommy. I'm all for the advancement of plastic surgery, there's children's burn wards and such that greatly benefit from these advances. And everyone has the right to be happy in their own body. But how much is healing, how much is body dysmorphia? I think that's a fine line. People can do whatever they'd like with their bodies, but I think they should be honest. Obviously you don't need to disclose your medical history to everyone who asks, but if someone says how do you keep your shape and you say oh here drink this tea that makes you shit, then you're in the wrong. But as a parent it's your job to teach your kid people come in different shapes and sizes, and that's okay too. People change things they don't like all the time, as long as you're making informed decisions. Why your body any different? Unhealthy weight. I'm not talking about being fit and thin and making people feel bad about their bodies. I'm not talking about having a few extra pounds and making people feel bad for that. I have a few extra pounds, I'm not super fit, but I'm relatively healthy. Everyone's body is different. Healthy means a lot of different things. I'm talking about normalizing morbidly obese people as beautiful and something to be celebrated. It's dangerous, especially if children see them as someone to look up to. Then they'll think it's okay for your body to carry around so much weight that your heart and lungs are working overtime to keep you alive. It will lead to devastating later years in life as you age and your body slows down. You'll be at risk for cardiovascular issues, you'll probably die. I think no one specific body type needs to be glamorized at all. I just want to be treated like a person. I don't want dirty looks when I eat in public. I don't want people tiptoeing around me. If I'm at a store and I ask, oh do you have this shirt in a XL or a 2X, don't say oh are you sure you don't mean an XS, ha ha ha, just fucking tell me you don't have the size so we can move on. Don't stare at me weird at the beach when I'm wearing a two-piece. You can wear a bikini as a size 16. Just let me live my fucking life as a plus-size person without making that a whole thing. Cast plus-size actors and actresses without making them the butt of the joke or their whole storyline about losing weight. Don't glamorize and say they're the most beautiful amazing people in the world, just treat plus-size individuals like normal human beings. This is not directed at you specifically at Uzbfan1123, I'm just piggybacking on your comment. Exactly. It's so annoying when people fake anxiety/depression, because not only does it invalidate people with serious problems, but when people do decide to get help they downplay their issues because everyone has problems like these, which means they can't get the proper help they need. As someone with professionally diagnosed anxiety/depression, people very rarely understand how much of a hell your own mind can be, and even when you do decide to get help, many people are afraid of losing the security of having nothing to lose. Sorry for the rant, I hope it wasn't too long. Take care of yourself. Edit. Not only just anxiety/depression, other mental illnesses and health issues, but I have mainly had experience with those. The expectation that most people should and will have children. People take it as a given. Choosing to be child-free is a little more common now, but it seems like a lot of people just end up with children through accidents or having them just because it's expected. Having kids is an eternal responsibility, and I don't feel that everyone has business raising children. There should generally be more consideration going into it. Parents being assholes. I mean, they yell, gaslight us, get mad over nothing, pressure us, and sometimes even hit us. They expect us to be completely fine and act like they didn't just scream at us for the past hour grimacing face. Yet we completely normalize them being bad people towards us. Society is just completely okay with parents being the absolute worst, and it sickens me. But oh, that's just parents. We need to start holding them accountable for their actions as people, not parents. Parents being assholes. I mean, they yell, gaslight us, get mad over nothing, pressure us and sometimes even hit us. They expect us to be completely fine and act like they didn't just scream at us for the past hour grimacing face. Yet we completely normalize them being bad people towards us. Society is just completely okay with parents being the absolute worst, and it sickens me. But oh, that's just parents. We need to start holding them accountable for their actions as people, not parents.